And call this meeting to order. It is 7 p.m., the regular city council meeting for Monday, March 28th, 2022. If we could all say the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Holly, will you call the roll, please?
Lanyon.
Present.
Pratt.
Here.
Bellinger.
Here.
Siebel.
Here.
Rhines.
Here.
Gilroy.
Here.
Hanson.
Here.
I'm looking for approval of the agenda for this evening unless there are changes that need to be made.
So.
Thank you. Do I have support?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the opportunity for audience participation with a maximum of 5 minutes per presentation. Do I have anybody in the audience that would like to come forward at this time?
Can I have 5 minutes to talk about this basketball team? I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was really uplifting, I swear. It was.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Never seen anybody that fast and that quick as far as a group of high school basketball players. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, we are very proud of our high school boys basketball team. Moving right along, we have our council meeting minutes for March 14th, 2022. If there are no changes, I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
I'll make a motion to submit
I'll second.
minutes as submitted.
All right, thank you, and we have support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. We have accounts payable. Noah, you had an opportunity to review the accounts payable for this meeting.
Yes, I did. It was the shortest amount that I've had in a long time, so it went quite well. And I didn't find anything that needed any in-depth analysis. So with that being said, I'm going to ask for I'm going to make a motion to approve check 75348 dated 3/11 through check 75382 dated 3/18. EFT number 237 and ACH 238 through 240 for $42,000, $984.96.
Thank you, Noah. Are there any questions regarding accounts payable for this evening? I'm looking for support.
Support.
Thank you so much. Holly, will you call the roll, please?
Siebel.
Yes.
Rhines.
Yes.
Gilroy.
Yes.
Lanyon.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Pratt.
Yes.
Bellinger.
Yes.
All right, moving along, we've got our action items for this evening. It is one item. It's the police department body cam and interview room camera purchase. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this right over to Chief. He's here, and thank you so much for the memo that you provided.
Thank you and good evening. We are looking to, met with Rachel, and there's money in there for the building funds that we were going to use for the cameras around the PD. Not only for an interview room, an interview needs cameras to comply with law when you're interviewing subjects on serious crimes. It's got to be recorded digitally and audio. We don't have that option right now. We drive to Meridian, we drive to the county, which gives an ungodly amount of time for a person to decide, I don't want to talk to you anymore. We lose that window of opportunity to get our best evidence from a person we're talking to, and we can bring them in there. So with that, we'd also like cameras around the outside of the exterior of the building, just for transparency, and the interior. So if something does go wrong, we've got it documented. This cover us, cover the officer, cover the city. So that's the first one for the cameras for the building and the interview room. Do you want to talk about the?
Yeah, go ahead. We'll let you give your information, and then we'll call for the two motions.
I checked with several different companies trying to get quotes from them to do both, because I'd like to stay one system versus trying to piecemeal it and having one from company A, one from company B, and one from company C, and it makes it harder to just to do it. I don't think it's a good idea, so I wanted to get one from one company, and the company that was submitted back to us, Midwest Public Safety, they use the GTAC body cameras, in-car cameras, the same ones that MSU are using. Meridian is going to switch over to them as soon as they get out of their contract with Axon, because I guess the Axon prices keep going through the roof with the storage fees. That's what really is the most expensive, is the storage of the data. But the cameras themselves are under $500, but it's the storage and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I decided to go with them. I've been talking with them for about a year now, and still picking their brains and picking other ones. I started this back last fall when I was at the conference up north with the chiefs of police, and started doing my research, and so I still think they're the best one to go with. Our cameras are failing. I've gotten some of Young County's old cameras to fix some of my cameras. It's the old L3 system. Bonnie couldn't even tell me how old they were. They were there before her. She's been there like 10 years. Email just came out where we're losing audio. She says, you know, on traffic stops, guys, make sure sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not. That's going to come back and bite us. So another reason I want to move forward to get the new ones. So the in-car cameras only cover so much. The body cameras are going to cover a lot more and give a true transparency so if something does happen. And I think I discussed the one incident. It's been well over a year with Officer Pintar taking on a mental person who wouldn't pull his hands out of his pocket right in the middle of Grand River.
Right.
And it was, I don't remember the call, but it was enough where Joe pulled his weapon on the guy. And the guy wouldn't listen to his commands, kept coming at him, wouldn't pull his hands out of his pocket, and he finally complied. I mean, heaven help us if we have to use deadly force on somebody, you know. Do we have to wait to get shot first before we can defend ourselves? So I think a body camera is going to help us in those situations where we can show that we waited for the very last second and did what we could to de-escalate the situation. So
Excellent.
that's the reason for the new cameras, just to protect us, protect the city.
All right, I have 2 questions. Number 1, do you have any concern regarding supply chain issues? What is the turnaround time? If you place the order, when do you anticipate installation into the vehicles, the building, and having the body cams?
Yes, I absolutely do have a problem with supply chain. Talking to the manufacturer, once I place the order for the in-cars, it's about 6 months. The body cams will come a little sooner.
Okay.
He said about 3 months.
Okay.
And I think the cameras for the building and the interview room are probably around 6 months as well.
Okay,
So,
all right, so
yes.
we need to get this going. And then my second question is, you mentioned storage, and that's a concern. Is it going to be stored in the cloud? Are you going to need to, do they provide a server where that's going to be stored internally at the department, or how does that work?
I'm going to call it.
Okay, all right, excellent. Those are my questions.
I noticed that the highest expenses here, like you said, the cameras aren't very expensive. The software, or the service and the software that's gonna categorize and make available these recordings. That's probably the thing that keeps going up in the price of the system that Meridian is now contracted to. How long are we contracted with these guys?
5 years. It's a 5-year lock-in.
Okay.
Okay.
Is the price locked in for 5 years? Oh, okay.
Yep, that's my contract for 5 years.
Okay, so what happened with Meridian? They locked into a contract, but the price kept going up inside the contract? So
They're on with Axon, and Axon just keeps hitting them with more storage fees and more costs. I'm not 100% why or how, if they're in a contract, just talking with their chief at the last conference I was in Grand Rapids. He's jumping ship as soon as he can, and my text message is, when you pull in the trigger, because I can't till next June.
Okay, and we've got money budgeted for this year for the first part, but not the second part.
Correct, the second part will be budgeted, I'll budget that in to my budget for those cameras.
For the next fiscal year.
Or,
Okay, so we passed this today, you can put the order in tomorrow, but only for the first part.
well, I'd like to put it in for both and tell them that we're approved, and get it, at least get it going.
Okay.
'Cause
And
I
then
don't
he
think
can
I'm
put
gonna,
Rachel.
I'm gonna, somebody else will snatch them up if I don't. I mean, I just
Okay.
gotta get on that waiting list.
I got a quick question,
Go ahead.
just out of curiosity. It shows on the cloud plan, it's a 30 gig plan, monthly plan, with 144 quantities of that.
Sorry, I don't know page you're on.
This would be on page 2 or 3, and I'm just curious, is that 144 individual 30 gig plans, you can use up to that many? Do they charge you for the full amount if you don't use all of it?
That's a good question.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Well, and then on page 103, so these are kind of in reverse order.
Oh, yeah.
There is a 60 gig down for the OUA03X. It notates cloud 60 gig.
And then
I-
60 of those.
I'm assuming that you're comfortable with the amount of storage you've been quoted, if it's going into the cloud, correct?
I've talked with Kurt, like I said, for a year. I said, okay, this is what I've got, this is what I'm doing, you tell me what you think I need compared to
Okay.
your knowledge of other police departments my size and
Sure,
the activity that you're doing. So I'm trusting him on that part because
yep,
I can't spell good.
right, okay. Well, it's monthly plan times 3, so that's gonna get you through the 5 years. If you look at it that way, so, I mean, if you're comfortable with it, and this is what you've done the research and everything, does anybody have any other questions for Chief regarding this?
So Meridian is unhappy with their current supplier, but MSU is happy with these guys? You call them up, you say, what do you use? We use this. What do you think? It's good.
I've talked to their deputy chief, who is a former graduate of Williamston, and a classmate, a younger classmate than me, but I don't think he'd lead me wrong. So they're very satisfied with it.
Very satisfying. Okay, good. All right.
All right, I'm looking for the first motion, please. Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the quote for Midwest Public Safety in the amount of $8,155 for police department building cameras to be purchased in the 2021-2022 fiscal year. These funds will come out of the Buildings and Ground Department budget.
All right, do I have support?
Support.
Thank you. If there's no other questions or discussion, Holly, will you call the roll, please?
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Lanyon,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Pratt,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Seabolt,
Yes.
All right, I'm looking for that second motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the quote from Midwest Public Safety in the amount of $39,948 for police department body worn cameras and in-car cameras to be purchased in the 2022-2023 fiscal year. These funds will come out of the police department budget.
Do I support?
Second.
Thank you very much. If there's no other questions or further discussion, Holly, will you call the roll, please?
Gilroy,
Yes.
Lanyon,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Pratt,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Seabolt,
Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
All right, that concludes our action items for this evening. Moving along down the agenda, discussion items, we have none. Correspondence, we have received none. So I'll move into our department head reports. We did receive a memo from City Manager Hannafin. He is on spring break this week, and therefore he has to be excused, which I happily did because I know this is their youngest child's senior year, so I hope they're enjoying themselves. But if you do have any questions regarding his manager's report, please do forward those questions to him. I'm sure he'd be happy to answer. It was very thorough and good information for all of us. It looks like we will have our first budget work session on Tuesday, April 12th at 6 p.m. And Holly, we're going to do that here, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and that is open to, just like any of our other workshops or meetings, it is open to the public if anybody would like to attend. Also, he and Chief met with, or Bonnie met with our farmers market manager and talked about signage for this upcoming season. He attended the Chamber of Commerce meeting. So, you know, he's definitely getting out there and meeting with people and getting a feel for the community. And so, again, if you have questions, you can follow up with him. With that being said, I'll turn it over to Chief for your report.
I really don't have a whole lot. I mean, things are going smooth. The biggest thing was me working on these cameras. I've got our youngest officer on a 4P to 4A shift, so we've got that double coverage now up to that 4 o'clock. Next month, Officer Rutherford's going to go back to a 5 to 5 shift.
Okay.
So we'll have pretty much 2 officers on all the time now.
Excellent. Great. Well, keep us up in the loop as to how things are going with you know, round the clock coverage and, you know, multiple officers on, and if you feel that, you know, that's, you know, helping and making a difference, all that kind of good stuff.
I think it's important for the safety of the midnight guys.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
you know,
So they're
I'm
not by
sure,
themselves.
you know, just having that somebody with them, you know,
Sure.
on those slow nights, but
Sure.
if that one call does come, or
Mhm.
they always do 2 people on
Sure.
a suspected drunk driver, so
Yep.
instead of waiting
Sounds
for a
good
county
idea.
car or a Meridian car, those guys are ready to go.
Excellent. And I know that you guys were over at the high school during the playoff game, so thank you so much for the department's support of that and helping keep things orderly over there, I'm sure. Moving right along, we've got our subcommittee reports. Would anybody like to share information from meetings that we've had? All right. Moving along, we've got audience participation again. I don't see anybody out in our gallery, so we'll keep moving along. I'll move along to council member comments. Brandon.
I guess I'll just say what everyone else is gonna say, and congratulations to the basketball team, you made our city proud. But other than that, I have nothing.
All right, Dan?
I'll echo Brandon with big congratulations to the basketball team. But I also had the opportunity Saturday to go out to Mason where our school's robotics team was competing. And that program has only been going for 4 years, but could not compete for 2 years because of COVID. And in the basically 2 years they've been going, there were 40 teams competing in Mason and they came in 19th. And with this type of program, you literally build it from the ground up. They have to build their own robots, and so to some of these other programs have been going for 20 years, and so to be in the top half, that was huge. The one thing they did mention was that to have an even more successful program, they could use some monetary help from some of our businesses, like because a lot of these kids that are going through the robotics program end up working for high-end manufacturing firms like Beckham or MC Molds or Cardinal Fabricating, some of these places. So if you know anybody that works over there, Vespide Robotics at the high school would be interested in that.
Great, awesome. And it's great. It's not just our athletics, it's all the other clubs, and I was gonna mention the robotics as well. So thank you for mentioning that. We love supporting every single club and sport team, so. Noah?
Ditto.
All right.
Go
All right,
Hornets.
Terry?
Go Hornets.
All right, Chuck?
Yes.
Good job, Williamston basketball.
All right, Tom?
Yeah, I'll round it out with the same, bringing the state championship home to the community is awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Good job.
Congratulations, absolutely. The last state championship by the boys team was 1940, so this is pretty exciting for the community, and so I hope everybody has the opportunity to, if they see a basketball player out there, or robotics, or, you know, spring sports coming up with track and softball and baseball, and I think probably lacrosse and tennis and golf. There's so many other things out there, and then also the other clubs at the middle school, high school level. And I believe there was even little guys wrestling this past weekend, states. So, you know, I mean, our community is very busy, and it shows. And so congratulations to everybody out there that's participating. It is springtime. We are 4 days shy of the end of this month, so just until the end of March, there is no parking on the streets from 2 to 5. You never know what Michigan is going to do, as was shown over the past couple days with some snow. But we are lighter longer. Please pay attention to our walkers and our bicyclers out there and enjoy this great spring, weather. And that's all I've got. I will adjourn at 7:18. Still have not beat my record.